Welcome to Com 362. We're here with Josh Burris today. Going to get to know him just a little bit better. Josh, tell me a little about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Oklahoma, Muskogee, Oklahoma to be exact, and that town actually has a song named after Okie from Muskogee. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but you should look it up.
Yeah, definitely will look it up. What brings you to Rexburg? What are you studying here?
So obviously the university here, Brigham Young University, Idaho, brought me to Rexburg in the first place. I'm studying communications with an emphasis of strategic organizational communications.
Nice. What's your vision with that, kind of the career path that you want to follow?
Right, so it's actually a little bit different than probably regular people in this major, but I wanted to go into federal law enforcement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. What led you to that path to get from communications to law enforcement?
Right, so I actually had an experience through some different programs growing up that gave me that exposure to law enforcement, and I was able to learn a lot through those different programs throughout my life. And so just throughout that time, I realized that was my calling, something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And federal law enforcement is the career path that I chose.
That's fantastic. What's your kind of idea when you're not focusing on your goals? What do you do for fun?
For fun, I actually really like sports. So I play soccer. All growing up, I played all kinds of different sports. I tried about everything. Up until high school, I focused on soccer, and now I love to play spike ball. I know some people don't consider that a sport, but I love spike ball, love soccer, and also love watching sports. So football, the NFL, all the different sports that you can watch on TV. I just enjoy all of them. So
awesome. Do you feel like there's opportunities to do those things here in Rexburg?
Yeah, I would say there's quite a few opportunities on campus for intramural sports. They even have competitive sports on campus that you can sign up for, there's tryouts for, and just watching different sports as well. If you have a roommate that has, some good subscriptions, you can get on some good sports.
Awesome. Well, Josh, appreciate getting to know you today, and thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Hello, and welcome to Com 362. My name is Josh Burris, and I'm here with Caleb Kahn. Caleb, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
So I'm from Utah right now, originally back east. I was born in Pittsburgh and then popped up to Rhode Island for about 10 years and then out to Utah. So a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, all over the place, not just West Coast, East Coast, anywhere, but all over the place. Where out of those places has been your favorite place to live and why?
Oh, it's tough because I love Utah. Utah's closer to family. Obviously beautiful mountains, great outdoor stuff, but I miss the green. So definitely I probably lean in Rhode Island with the ocean and the green, yeah.
I've never been to Rhode Island, but it seems like an awesome place.
It's pretty cool.
And now you live in Rexburg, of course. Mm-hmm. And how long have you lived here in Rexburg?
So I've been here for about a year. I'm a senior in college, but we did some stuff online for a while. Me and my wife moved up here about a year ago. So
awesome. And what is your major?
So I'm studying public relations.
Public relations?
Yeah.
Sweet. And what do you want to do with that?
I think it would be really awesome to work for an organization like the church or a company that does like some good in the world. I want to find something that has a good mission that I can actually get behind and kind of help share that voice.
Something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So while you're here in Rexburg and you're not in classes, which is probably most of your time,
True.
Either in classes or working, what do you like to do for fun?
So I actually really enjoy laser tag on campus. I started volunteering there a couple semesters ago and actually work there now.
Awesome.
You play for free when you work there, so it
yeah.
kind of works out. But yeah, I really enjoy doing that, just getting out of the house, getting the heart rate up a little bit.
Yeah, and how often is laser tag here on campus?
So Monday, Friday, and then we'll do like special events sometimes with like I-Night or First Friday and stuff like that. But weekly it's Monday and Friday.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out sometime.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Caleb.
For sure. The Houston Astros have found their new closer. On Friday, the team agreed to terms with left-hander Josh Hader on a 5-year deal worth $95 million. The deal comes just days after reliever Kendall Graveman was lost for the season after undergoing shoulder surgery. Signing Hader quickly fills what would have been their biggest hole with the best free agent relief pitcher on the market. The contract is the second highest in MLB history for a reliever in terms of total dollars, and rightfully so. Hader's coming off a dominant year for the Padres, saving 33 games while posting an outstanding 1.28 ERA for a San Diego team that missed the playoffs. Hader will have every opportunity to chase that World Series ring with Houston as they look to build on their run of 7 straight ALCS. The Houston Astros have found their new closer. On Friday, the team agreed to terms with left-hander Josh Hader on a 5-year deal worth $95 million. The deal comes just days after reliever Kendall Graveman was lost for the season after undergoing shoulder surgery. Signing Hader quickly fills what would have been their biggest hole with the best free agent relief pitcher on the market. The contract is the second highest in MLB history for a reliever in terms of total dollars, and rightfully so. Hader's coming off a dominant year for the Padres, saving 33 games while posting an outstanding 1.28 ERA for a San Diego team that missed the playoffs. Hader will have every opportunity to chase that World Series ring with Houston as they look to build on their run of 7 straight ALCS appearances. Are you tired of your sugar cravings controlling your life? Are you sick of the same old snacks that keep letting you down? If that sounds familiar, then listen up, because I have the answer to your problem. I'm Caleb Kahn, creator and founder of the Little Cocoa Bee, and I'm here to introduce you to the treat that will change the way you look at sweets. Our peanut butter coconut meltaways are specially crafted to give you the sweet satisfaction you're looking for without the guilt and regret. Normal chocolates taste good, but they're packed with refined sugars and artificial sweeteners. Yuck! You enjoy the first bite, but soon enough, you're gonna come crashing down to earth. Do you wanna know the secret to what makes us different? I'll tell you, it's honey. Our chocolates are made with raw, unrefined honey that gives them a delicate sweetness that blends perfectly with the richness of the chocolate. We use premium ingredients because we believe in giving you the best. Creamy peanut butter and virgin coconut oil bring an explosion of flavor that will leave you wanting more. And we do it all while keeping our prices low. Snacking should be enjoyable, not expensive. We're committed to bringing you the very best without breaking your bank. Now, do you want to know the best part? Our chocolates are gluten-free, dairy-free, and they're completely plant-based. Whatever your dietary needs are, the Little Cocoa Bee is a fit for you. So don't wait. Visit us at thelittlecocobee.com and see what all the buzz is about. That's thelittlecocobee.com. Get yours today. Having a rough day? Ask a friend for a hug. According to a study, being hugged can help someone who's in a bad mood. Researchers say the boost in mood was seen regardless of gender or age, and according to the study, hugs from friends are just as good as ones between people in a relationship. The findings are based on more than 400 people during a 2-week period. Sad news in the sports world today is former Red Sox pitcher Tim Wakefield passed away at the age of 57 due to complications with brain cancer. Wakefield's illness became public only 3 weeks ago. A beloved player during his 16 seasons in Boston, Wakefield won 200 games in his career, leaving a lasting impression on his teammates and fans. A 2-time World Series champion, his greatest work was done in the community as he worked tirelessly to promote and raise money for the Jimmy Fund, an organization that raises money for cancer research. Wakefield leaves behind his wife, Stacy, and 2 children, Brianna and Trevor, and we mourn with them today. Having a rough day? Ask a friend for a hug. According to a study, being hugged can help someone who's in a bad mood. Researchers say the boost in mood was seen regardless of age or gender, and according to the study, hugs from friends are just as good as ones between people in a relationship. The findings are based on more than 400 people during a 2-week period. Sad news in the sports world today as former Red Sox pitcher Tim Wakefield passed away due to complications with brain cancer. Wakefield's illness became public only 3 days ago. A beloved player during his 16 seasons in Boston, Wakefield won 200 games in his career, leaving a lasting impression on his teammates and fans. A 2-time World Series champion, his greatest work was done in the community as he worked tirelessly to promote and raise money for the Jimmy Fund, an organization that raises money for cancer research. Wakefield leaves behind his wife Stacy and his 2 children, Trevor and Brianna. Today, we mourn with them. This just in, the iconic Jacob Sporey building will be demolished tomorrow to make way for a new pickleball facility named after current BYU Idaho president Alvin Tripp F. Meredith III. Grace, tell us more about this new building and what will happen to the students who currently use the Sporey building.
Thank you, Caleb.
Sounds like an exciting new project. Who will be overseeing the construction?
The courts will be built by BYU Idaho.
Well, big news there. When can students and pickleball athletes expect this project to be finished?
The proposed deadline is the outdoor pickleball season.
Awesome. Well, exciting news. Thank you so much, Grace.
Reporter Caleb Kahn for more details. Caleb?
Thank you, Grace. I'm here at the Fenway South Complex in Fort Myers, where we're just getting news that the Red Sox have signed free agent starter Jordan Montgomery. Now, we're not quite sure the details. We know it's going to be a 3-year contract. There may be opt-outs in there, and we're not sure what the value of the contract is yet, but he will be joining the Red Sox probably tomorrow at their spring training complex.
What does this signing do for the Red Sox this year?
Well, this is a huge hole. Obviously, Boston's rotation the last 2 years has been an absolute mess. This right away adds some depth for them in their biggest area of need. Montgomery is a guy who we know can pitch in the AL East, was effective for the Yankees, was clutch for the Rangers down the stretch, and was crucial to them winning the World Series last year. So right off the bat, this is a huge upgrade for the Red Sox in their rotation.
What effect does this signing have on the rest of the free agent market?
Yeah, so hopefully this is the first domino to fall that'll kind of knock over the rest of them. Obviously, a few big-name guys that are still out there. Matt Chapman, Blake Snell is probably the best pitcher available now coming off his Cy Young season. And we know there's a couple teams that are interested in him, the Angels, possibly the Giants. We know he has an offer on the table from the Yankees. Hopefully, as more details come out about this contract, it can set the market, and we'll see some of these other big-name players start to sign, hopefully in the next week or so.
Good morning, I'm Brian Howard.
And I'm Caleb Kahn, and welcome to Good Morning BYU, Idaho. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley announced today that she'll be suspending her campaign for president. The decision comes after a disappointing showing on Super Tuesday, winning only the state of Vermont, while Republican frontrunner Donald Trump swept the other 14 states. In her comments, Haley declined to offer her endorsement to Trump, saying that he must, quote, earn the votes of her supporters.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints announced an amazing acquisition today. The church purchased the Kirtland Temple and several other significant historic buildings and artifacts from the Community of Christ. The $190 million agreement was initiated back in June of 21. President of the Community of Christ, Stephen Veazey, was on hand to share his thoughts on the importance of this exchange for both organizations. President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Russell M. Nelson, expressed gratitude for the cooperation in preserving these historical treasures. The Kirtland Temple and other sites will be reopened for public tours at no cost starting March 25th of this year. The church emphasizes a commitment to preserve these sacred places and items for future generations. Further details regarding the agreement are expected to be released very soon.
Some bad news out of spring training for the Red Sox, as newly acquired starter Lucas Giolito is out indefinitely with an elbow injury. Initial reports say that he may have a tear of the UCL, which would likely take him out of the action for the whole season. He'll be getting a second opinion today. This is a major blow to the pitching staff that was already without much depth. The team was counting on Giolito to eat up some innings, but the question now is who will they turn to for help?
Well, going from baseball to basketball in a rematch of last year's heartbreak, Iowa State prepares to face BYU on senior night. Can the Cyclones avenge their loss, or will the Cougars strike again? BYU coach Mark Pope is amped for the challenge, despite the intimidating atmosphere at Hilton Coliseum. Tip-off is slated for 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, televised nationwide on ESPN2. Iowa State boasts a perfect 17-0 home record and is hungry for victory, but BYU, riding high after upsetting Kansas, is ready to put up a fight. With the second place in Big 12 up for grabs, expect an epic battle on the hardwood. Well, have you ever gone to spring training? What a great time of year. We got basketball, we got baseball. I've never gone to a spring training game.
I've never made it down there. I was in Arizona for a while, but never got the chance. But perfect time of year to enjoy sports.
Let's plan a road trip. Let's head down to Arizona and get some sun. That would be great. Well, that's all we have time for this edition of Good Morning Idaho. I'm Brian Howard.
And I'm Caleb Kahn. Make sure to join us every morning at 6 a.m. for the latest news that you need to know.
Reigning NL Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell has not found many interested teams this offseason, and some say it's because he rejected a qualifying offer. Let me break it down for you. When Snell became a free agent, the Padres extended him a qualifying offer, a 1-year contract at the league's median salary. Coming off the best season of his career, Snell believed that he could land a multi-year deal at much better money. Rejecting the Padres' offer means that any team that signed Snell would give up a first-round draft pick to the Padres as compensation. And it appears that for many teams, that is too high a price to pay.
Good morning. I'm Caleb Kahn with your BYU Idaho Sports Break. Reigning NL Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell has not found many interested teams this offseason, and some say it's because he rejected a qualifying offer. Let me break it down. When Snell became a free agent, the Padres extended him a qualifying offer, a 1-year contract at the league's median salary. Coming off the best season of his career, Snell believed that he could land a multi-year deal at much better money. Rejecting the Padres' offer means that any team that signs Snell would give up a first-round draft pick to the Padres as compensation. And it appears that for many teams, that is too high a price to pay. The Yankees had an offer on the table, but won't push their payroll over the highest tax bracket. The Angels have also shown interest, but there has not been much chatter about a deal being close. With only 2 weeks to opening day, we're all waiting to see who blinks first and where one of the best pitchers in the game will end up. An update on the injury situation for starter Lucas Giolito, as the Red Sox released a statement this morning stating that Giolito underwent surgery to repair a partially torn UCL in his right elbow Tuesday. While the surgery was an internal bracing procedure and not a full Tommy John surgery, Giolito is still expected to miss the entire season. This was the first season of a 2-year, $38 million deal signed this offseason, as the Red Sox hoped Giolito would have a bounce-back season. Giolito struggled last year, posting a 4.88 ERA across 3 teams, but was an All-Star in 2019 and received Cy Young votes from 19 to 21. The team is counting on Giolito to shoulder much of the workload in the rotation, but will now have to look to other, less experienced pitchers to fill the void. Turning now to a rival, the Yankees are also looking to avoid the injury bug, as star players Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge both received MRIs over the weekend. According to manager Aaron Boone, Cole was having trouble bouncing back between starts and was dealing with mid-season levels of fatigue. Imaging was done on his elbow, and the team is still waiting for results. Judge was held out of the lineup again after feeling banged up and received imaging of his abdominal area. Obviously, the Yankees don't want to be without either player for an extended period of time, so hopefully this is just maintenance for them. We'll keep you updated as we know more. And that's all we have for BYU Idaho Sports Break. Again, I'm Caleb Kahn, and we'll see you every afternoon for all the sports news you need to know. Hi, welcome back to COM 362 Talk Time. I'll be your host today, Caleb Kahn, and today we're visiting with Josh Strang. Now, Josh is the host of his own podcast, Beyond Belief. Josh, tell us a little bit about that podcast. What can we hear when we listen to there?
Yeah, so with the name, Beyond Belief, it's, we're talking about, my friend and I, we talk about religious topics that interest us. Some of it might be a little controversial, whether inside the church or outside the church, just some controversial topics, such as the reliability of the Bible, the fall of Adam and Eve, and one of the most recent ones we did is the omniscience of God and how it relates to agency.
Wow. So diving into some deep stuff there for sure.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah. We got a lot. Yeah.
How did you get this podcast started? What was kind of the inspiration for you?
So actually this last Christmas break, my brother, I was visiting my hometown in Washington, and my brother was like, "Yo, Josh, you should do a podcast." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I never really thought about that," So I thought about it, and then my friend Wilford, who's now the co-host, and he's in my ward, and we had a conversation right as I got back about just some things, like one of the controversial topics actually. And he agrees with me on a lot of things. And he was like, I've been thinking of starting a podcast. I was like, ain't no way, bro. And so we just, we were like, yeah, we should do a podcast together. So we started things off in about January. We try to meet weekly, and yeah, it's been going great since.
Gotcha. So the stars just kind of aligned for you there.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. So what do you do to like you said, you talk about a lot of controversial topics, especially things in and out of the church. What do you do to kind of keep it doctrinally based?
Yeah, so we always make sure that whatever we speak about, like we have a reference that supports it. Because there's a lot of things in the church that people talk about that I like to call gospel gossip. A lot of things that people just say. People just say it like that's what we've been taught in the church all the time. But if it's not rooted in the scriptures, it has no base. And so we try to make sure that everything is based in the scriptures and based on literally anything that it talks about. So
I think that's brilliant. Have you ever had any guests on your podcast? Or?
Not yet, but we have been thinking about that. I have a friend, one of my best friends, he's Catholic, and he actually goes to BYU Idaho here. Him and I graduated this last semester. And we've been thinking of maybe adding him on, or just other people who might bring additional insight and special topics.
Oh, that'd be really interesting to kind of get the different perspectives there too.
Dude, yeah.
So why do you think this is an important topic, particularly young people in general, I'm assuming is your audience, but particularly for people at BYU Idaho? What is significant about this?
I think it really, I think it increases critical thinking skills because we're trying to apply critical thinking skills to the scriptures and also to certain doctrines, kind of trying to purge away from false doctrine and just give food for thought for extra things they might not have thought about. And I think that's a really important skill, especially when you're going through college. Like, critical thinking skills are really important. They help you pass classes, they help you even make decisions in daily life. And this is the time of life where everyone is making huge decisions, like what job they're going to do, what major they're going to be, and I guess with the critical thinking skills, but also, making sure that the gospel is still part of your daily life as well. So just a combination of all that, yeah.
I love that. It's definitely the decade of decisions for sure, and there's a lot that we're faced with as college students. So I appreciate that. Josh, tell us, where can we find your podcast?
So the main thing we have is on YouTube. We have like videos and edited. It's just search up Beyond Belief, and it should show up as like a little circle with a little compass that's orangish. It's got gradient colors. So just search up Beyond Belief. There's another podcast called Beyond Belief Sobriety. That's not us. So yeah, it might be hard finding it, but you got this.
Okay.
It's also on Spotify. We've recently talked about adding it on there. So yeah, it's also on there. Just search up Beyond Belief.
Awesome. Well, Josh, thank you so much for sharing that today. That's all the time we have. So again, this is COM 362 Talk Time. I'm Caleb Kahn. We're visiting with Josh Strang today, and we will see you next week. Have you ever felt like you wanted to do something to make a difference in the world? To be a part of something that's bigger than yourself? To be a force for good, an agent of change? And have you ever felt like your efforts aren't enough to actually do that? You're not alone. Before I was born, my mother worked for the FBI. She worked in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania RA, and she helped bring light to a job that was sometimes very difficult. Whenever she saw evidence folders or criminal files of horrible things that had been done, she would cry, often with the ridicule of the older women who worked there. My mother replied, "If I ever stop crying over these things, then I shouldn't be here." All she could see in those photos was someone's son, brother, or child. They didn't start out with these mistakes as their goal. My father finished the FBI Academy and became an agent while my mom was pregnant with me. Together, they made the decision that she would quit her job and stay home while my father would work. When my mom told her coworkers, one woman asked her, "How does it feel to know you won't be making a difference in the world?" Fast forward almost 3 years to September of 2001, a calm, clear New England morning. We were woken up by my uncle, who was staying with my family, and told to come look at the TV. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, toddler in her arms, my mother and I watched the Twin Towers fall. The world stopped and watched with us as the news unfolded that morning. Another plane, United Flight 93, went down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. As my mother watched on TV, she knew her former coworkers were arriving on the scene to process evidence. The thought crossed her mind, I should be there. I should be doing something. As soon as she had this thought, her eyes went to me. The Spirit clearly reminded her that what she was doing was important and that her job was to raise me to love others. She was exactly where she needed to be, doing what the Lord would have her do. The aftermath of 9/11 was a whirlwind for my family. My dad came home and packed a bag, not knowing when he would be back. He headed to Boston, where the flights had taken off from. He was one of the agents tasked with going in to search the hotel rooms where the terrorists had stayed and left things behind. They had to clear the room with technology to make sure there were no explosives waiting for them. I don't remember seeing my dad much during that time, but I do remember that I didn't feel afraid. My mom always had a way of making things magical for me. She hung crystals in all of our windows to refract the light, so the first thing I would see in the morning when I woke up was little rainbows dancing all around our kitchen. I remember cheesy omelets and great music. Once, she took apart our sectional sofa and built a small fort on the kitchen table where I sat with a small bird book and a pair of binoculars, waiting for the feathered friends that my mom would feed. There's a photo somewhere of me in the bath as a little kid, wearing a crown of bubbles and surrounded by floating candles. That photo hung in my refrigerator for a while. One day, my mom had a friend over who had gone through a lot of hardships, going through the foster care system and even being homeless for a while. My mom was embarrassed when she noticed her friend looking at this picture on the fridge. She worried that she was spoiling me or that this woman would be offended because of the circumstances she had been through. The woman turned to my mom, smiled, and said, "That boy is going to know how to treat a woman." My mother taught me what it means to be gentle and kind, and to always see the best in people. She taught me to love and forgive and to serve. And the funny thing is, she still doesn't feel like it was enough. Despite the incredible force for good that she has been in my life and many others, she still wonders if her efforts are making a difference. When we think of making a difference in the world, our minds go to the people who are successful, the great humanitarians or entrepreneurs, the movers and shakers of the world, the heroes. But stop to consider for just a moment that the greatest opportunity you have to make a difference is with the people around you every day. Your family, your friends, the people you bump into in classes or at the grocery store. They need you more than you realize. A smile, a kind word, an acknowledgement of their humanity. The small and simple moments in our everyday interactions can become an anchor to someone who's going through a hard time. You may never really know the difference you make in someone else's life, but they will never forget it.